What's going on, guys? Ryan Pineda here. So in this video, I'm going to show you step by step how to start your own YouTube channel and dominate the competition. So if this is your first time to my channel, welcome. My name's Ryan Pineda. I'm a real estate investor, business entrepreneur, social media influencer. I like doing a whole bunch of things, but I truly believe that YouTube is one of the biggest opportunities in the entire world right now for anybody, whether you're a business owner, whether you're a normal person with a W-2 job, or maybe you're unemployed and now you're looking for a career. I think YouTube can help anybody in any of those situations. So there are a ton of YouTube videos talking about how to start a YouTube channel, but this one is gonna be very different. I look at it from the perspective of a business owner. And if I'm gonna start a business, which a YouTube channel most definitely is, I wanna do all the proper research. I wanna make sure I know what I'm getting into so that I give myself the best chance to succeed. I think most people, when they start a channel, they just kind of wing it and hope for the best, and that is the wrong approach. And so if you don't wanna wing it, definitely keep watching this video. And I should also mention, if you like what you hear in this video, I do have an online course that teaches how to dominate all social media platforms, not just YouTube, and really take it to the next level. So you can find that in the link below. Also talk about it at the end of this video as well. But besides that, I wanna break this video up into three sections: the setup, the research, and the action plan. I think all three are very key to having success if starting a YouTube channel. So first off, let's just talk about the setup and get that out of the way since it's the easiest. What exactly do you need to get started with a YouTube channel? Do I need all this fancy equipment? Do I need all this lighting? Do I need all this background stuff? Yes and no. Obviously, having great lighting helps, having a nice camera helps, having a cool background helps, but at the end of the day, none of it is necessary to success. There are really just two things you need to succeed. Number one is a phone. If you have a phone, you can start a YouTube channel. You can upload from the phone, you can record from the phone. You have almost everything you need. And the second thing would be a computer. As long as you have a computer to do your editing, you're gonna be good. And if you have a Mac like what I just showed you, you've got iMovie, which is perfectly fine. You don't need to spend money on Premiere Pro or Final Cut Pro. You can if you want, but once again, we're just talking the basics. As long as you've got a phone and a computer, you're good to go. If you wanna get fancy with it and you're fully committed, then you can get other things like a nice camera, which I have right here. The Sony a6400 is what I'm using right now. You can get a wireless lav mic like what I'm wearing. This happens to be the Pico gear. If you're using your phone, you can get this Rode mic right here. I still use it when I film TikToks and other things on my phone. It's around 60 bucks and it's really nice. And I'll link to some of the equipment below, but just realize that you don't need to buy all this stuff. You don't need the nice camera, you don't need the fancy lights. You could literally get started with your phone, and you can literally sit by a window where you get great natural light and film that way. And that's all I would suggest you doing as far as equipment goes with the YouTube channel. The only other thing you'll need at that point is to open up a YouTube account. So you do that by just going to YouTube. You probably have one if you're watching this video. And if you don't have one yet, that's probably why you're not subscribed to my channel. So make sure you open one just so you can subscribe to my channel. And if you do have one and you're not subscribed to my channel, then shame on you. I don't know what you're doing. You need to subscribe right now so you get more of these videos. But that's it. Just open up a YouTube account and you're ready to go. You've got all the equipment, you've got the account. Now it's just a matter of figuring out what kind of content you're gonna make. So that leads me to the second phase of this video, and that is the research phase. And the research phase is the most important because you need to figure out before you do anything what it is you want to do. If you're gonna put in all this work to film and create content, you need to give yourself the best chance of success. So I want you to ask yourself a couple of questions. Number one is, why do you want to start a channel? Are you doing it for fun? You simply just want to start a channel? There's nothing wrong with that, but just know that that's the reason. Are you doing it to drive more traffic to your business? If so, once again, not an issue. Just realize, hey, this is the purpose of the channel. I want to drive more traffic into my business. I want to get more free eyeballs. Or maybe you just want to become an influencer and create revenue through sponsorships, through AdSense, through all the things that come with being an influencer. And honestly, it could be a combination of all three of those things. For myself, that's the case. I have fun making these videos, it drives more traffic to all my businesses, and I enjoy the fruits of being an influencer. I've been making a lot of money from ads, from sponsorships, from affiliates, and all these other things that come with being an influencer. But just make sure you identify why you want to do it from the beginning. Second thing you need to do is think about what is your niche. And for me, there are really two ways to find your niche. Number one, what are you good at? And number two, what do you enjoy doing? Now, if you're good at it and you enjoy doing it, you're gonna have a very successful niche. There are a lot of people who are good at things, but they don't enjoy doing them. And then there are people who enjoy doing things, but they're not very good at them. You can still have success, even if that's the case, but if you can have both, that is a great niche for you. And so for me, I enjoy talking about real estate. I enjoy talking about business. I enjoy talking about social media. I'm also good at them. I've had a great career as a real estate investor. I've built many businesses, 6 and 7 figures. I've grown my following really well, and I've helped other people grow their followings as well through my social media course, through consulting and other things. And so that's why my channel has success, is because I'm both good at it and I enjoy doing it. And so when you're thinking about your niche, whether it be a family channel, a makeup channel, a tech channel, think about, hey, do I actually like doing this and am I good at it? The one thing I'll say is, if you're gonna pick one, make sure you enjoy doing it, because if you don't, you're gonna get burnt out of doing this. It's tough talking about something you don't enjoy all the time. Even if you're really good at it, you'll get burnt out. And some of you guys might be thinking, Ryan, the niche that I wanna pick doesn't pay that much. It's not like finance and real estate where they pay you a lot of money. Well, that doesn't really matter, because if you're that good at it, you're gonna gain a following. And you're gonna have more success doing that than you will talking about finance, which you probably don't know anything about. So do what you enjoy, do what you're good at. The third thing you're gonna think about is, who is your target audience? So what kind of content does your audience wanna see? This was the hard thing for me to figure out early on, because I wanted to create content that I wanted to make. And so a lot of the things I'm going through are being a business owner, it's managing employees, it's scaling the business. But you know how many people are actually in that boat watching YouTube? Probably doesn't take a genius, but not many. In fact, most people watching my videos are beginners. They want to figure out, how do I buy that first real estate deal? How do I start a side hustle? My very best videos are always the beginner level videos, or my side hustle video about couches, because that is the audience on YouTube. Now, could I talk a lot about hiring employees and all these other things? Absolutely, but it's not gonna get views, because that's not what my audience is looking for. So I have to think about my target audience. So obviously I want them to watch my videos, but I also need to think about, what is my target audience's goals? And what are my goals? Are they in sync? And so let's just take, for example, my audience. Maybe their goal is to buy their first house, to flip their first house, to buy their first rental, whatever the case is. Am I okay making products for that goal? And the answer is yes. I'm perfectly happy helping people find their very first deal. I'm also very happy helping people scale to over 100 deals a year, just like me. And so as far as products go, I've created products for every single level. If you're just starting out, you can read my book, you can get my course, and if you want to scale, you can be coached directly by me. And that way, I'm in sync with everyone's goals, no matter who they are. And if you're one of those people who are interested in my coaching or in my courses, you can go to futureflipper.com and check those out. So understanding the target audience is huge. The next thing you got to do with research is understand the competition. And so once you've figured out your niche, once you've figured out the audience, you got to look at, what is the competition doing? You need to think, how did they get there? What do their best videos have in common? How can you differentiate from them? I can tell you, when I got in the YouTube space, I had absolutely no idea who Graham Stephan was. And I mean, this is probably the biggest guy in the finance space, right? And so I had to get familiar with who he was. How did he get here? What kind of content does he make? How do I differentiate from him? What do I have that he doesn't? And he's not the only guy in the space, obviously. There's a whole bunch of other people I ask these same questions with. And to have success, you can't just be another copy of someone else. And it's funny, because I do get comments who say, oh man, you're just another Graham, you're a copy, whatever. And it is what it is. Anytime there's someone coming up, they're always gonna be compared to somebody else who's already been doing it, right? And I absolutely did study what he was doing. I studied what Meet Kevin was doing and all these other guys were doing. I looked at what their best videos had in common, did my own version of some of those videos. But in the end, you gotta think about, how do you differentiate yourself from all these people? If you haven't figured out by now, this video is pretty different than every other YouTube channel video that you've seen. I'm not afraid to talk about competition. I'm not afraid to talk about making money and trying to beat the competition. I think it's taboo for a lot of people, but that's business. You gotta really ask yourself these things when you start channels and when you start businesses. As far as how I decided I wanted to differentiate myself in the YouTube space against all the other finance YouTubers and real estate YouTubers, it was really simple. For me, I have an office with a ton of employees and a ton of businesses. All these other finance YouTubers don't have that. They're all just at-home YouTubers for the most part. And there's nothing wrong with that. They're making a ton of money, but that is a big differentiation for me. And so for me, I should be highlighting that a lot. Like, look, these guys do their thing, but what I do is very different. We're out here flipping over 100 homes a year. I've got employees. I've got a whole different thing going on. And that's just on the business side of it. I have my family on. I have my wife on a lot. I do vlogs. We talk about relationships. We talk about faith. So it's not just numbers and X's and O's. Like, I feel like I'm trying to really differentiate myself from everyone else in a big way. And that's what you guys need to think about too. You don't want to be like the rest of the competition. You want to create your own lane. It's way easier to do it that way. And a really good book on this is actually called Blue Ocean Strategy. And it talks about how to compete in a world that's highly competitive. Well, the answer is you go create your own lane that doesn't exist. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do. So there's nothing wrong with looking at your competition and kind of seeing the blueprint for how they got there. You can definitely take elements from their blueprint, but you're gonna try and pave your own way also. So those are the things I want you to research. So once you've done your research and you figure out what you wanna do, that's gonna lead you to your action plan. And this is simply just executing what you've decided. So first thing you gotta do is figure out, how often do I wanna post on my channel? When I first started, I said I wanna post twice a week. And I did that for like a month or two. Then I went up to 3 times a week, then 4 times a week, then 5, then 6. I even tried 7, but then I dropped it back down to 6, and I may even drop it down to 5 or 4, who knows? The thing is, just make a commitment to whatever it is and then test it out. Do what you said you were gonna do and see the results. So many people don't take action because they wanna make sure that everything is perfect and they don't wanna make any mistakes. Wrong. You want to make mistakes. That's how you learn. You learn from the feedback of what you do. And so if you watch my videos from 7 months ago, they're way better today than they were then. I speak better, our audio's better, the lighting's better, everything is better. But the only reason it's better is because I made the videos, I made the mistakes, I got feedback, and I made the adjustments that I needed to make. But you can't make an adjustment if you never put out content. So don't get the paralysis by analysis, just trying to be so perfect. Just put out content and then get the feedback and make adjustments. Lastly, the biggest tip I want to give you for this process is to not just only focus on your content, but focus very hard, if not more, on the thumbnail and the title. That is probably the biggest secret among all YouTube creators, is that they're probably more important than the content. If nobody ever clicks your video, they can never know how good your content is. And if you ask any big creator to look at your channel, the very first thing they're gonna do is look at the thumbnails and the titles, and they'll immediately tell you why you're not doing well. Whatever you're putting is not incentivizing people to click. And so they'll never know if you had the best video ever or not because they never chose to click. And so focus on creating thumbnails that make people curious, that make people say, hey, I wonder what that's about. Also focus on creating titles that do the same. That was probably the biggest thing I've learned over these last 7 months, is how to create more clickbaity titles and thumbnails. And it's weird to say that because that's just really the truth of it. You don't wanna just have pure clickbait where it has nothing to do with the video, but you gotta create some kind of drama or mystery to get people to click into the video. I wish that you guys would just click all my videos without even looking at the thumbnail or title, because you're like, oh, Ryan put out this video, it must be good. I've gotta kind of trick you into clicking the video for the most part, especially if you have no idea who I am. So obviously if you're watching this video and you've watched it this far already and you've never seen any of my other videos, I did a good job at that. But definitely focus on the thumbnail and the title for sure. And look, there's so much more that goes into creating a YouTube channel. A lot of you are probably wondering, how do you edit? How do you create thumbnails? You might be wondering, how do you script videos? How do you do all these other things? Those are all great questions, and we cover them in my online course. I alluded to it at the beginning of this video, but it is seriously such an amazing course. We've already had such great feedback from everyone who's gone through it. There's over 7 hours of content, 100+ videos detailing exactly how to build a following, not just on YouTube, but also Instagram, TikTok, and all the other platforms. And the truth is, if you can master the other platforms, it makes your YouTube channel get that much more growth because they're gonna be coming in from other places. So I'd highly recommend checking out the course. You can find it in the description below. I'm not gonna sales pitch you on it too hard, so check it out for yourself. And if you haven't already, as I said, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you give me a like if you got a lot of value out of this video. And lastly, make sure you follow me on all the other socials because they're important as well. And I hope that you guys really crush it when you make your YouTube channel. Take care.